Here's some more tidbits on the Republican strategy for the record. The Republican strategy for the record now is just like saying, oh, looks like we're going to lose. All right, well, we'll start saying the election is stolen before the election is over.
Larry Elder, the leading Republican candidate, would not commit to accepting the results of the election.
Again, whether or not you win or lose, will you accept the results of the election tomorrow?
I think we all ought to be looking at election integrity, no matter whether you're a Democrat, an independent, or a Republican. Let's all make sure that the election is a fair election. So let's all work together, no matter what the results are, to make sure that the results are valid and legitimate, and everybody who voted should have voted. Let's all do that together.
Is that a commitment to accept the results of the election tomorrow?
Let's all do that together. Let's all work together on both sides of the aisle to make sure that the election is a fair election.
Now, you did not hear him give Jacob Soboroff. Larry Elder, the
Motherfucker's saying it's rigged already. That's how you know he knows he's going to lose, you know? Oh, we'll get back to the ivermectin stuff in a second because ivermectin posters just wilding the fuck out. But here are some more updates on the recall election. Bombshell accusation by Rose McGowan totally ignored by liberal media, of course. Rose McGowan, who is one of the brave women that came out in the whole, like, that kickstarted the Me Too movement against Harvey Weinstein, also came out and I guess endorsed Larry Elder yesterday in a conference. Let's watch.
And heading off to California to rally for Governor Newsom, fighting for his political life ahead of tomorrow's recall.
That's right. There you see Marine One headed for Andrews, where he's going to get on the big 747. Here with his final pitch to voters as the recall election wraps up tomorrow, California gubernatorial candidate and Republican frontrunner out west, Larry Elder. Larry, good morning to you.
Morning. How are you?
We're doing okay. So we just saw Joe Biden. He's in Marine One. He's heading your way. Why does Gavin Newsom need him?
Well, the reason Gavin Newsom needs him is because he's done a lousy job as governor. By the way, a lot of people have weighed in. Barack Obama has weighed in. Bernie Sanders has weighed in. Senator Warren has weighed in. And they never say the following magical words. Gavin Newsom has done a good job for the people of California. They can't defend his record on crime. They can't defend his record on homelessness. They can't defend his record on the way he...
Yeah, because it sucks. But you know what else sucks? You, motherfucker. That's how bad you are. Larry Elder is so fucking disastrously bad, so incompetent, and also on top of that, just a total charlatan that, like, the PSL is organizing in California against the recall, okay? Think about that. PSL. Like, this is the socialist party that routinely runs third-party candidates against Democrats, organizing against Larry Elder. The DSA and PSL are both organizing to ensure that the recall goes, the recall is overturned.
Ignored science and shut down this state while his own children were enjoying in-person.
I thought no one was bashing his work. What? No one thinks. Dude, Gavin Newsom he's all right. Okay, in many ways he's all right. A lot of people have fucking lost their minds because they think that, like, during COVID, like, what he did was absolutely unacceptable. He's done a lot of, like, fucking he's done a lot of aesthetic shit that is bad, like the whole French Laundry incident where he was he did the shutdowns, but then him and his friends, like, went and had fucking dinner. Of course, because he's a piece of shit, elitist, garbage person, right? Also, on top of that, Larry Elder is correct. Gavin Newsom's the way that Gavin Newsom's dealt with homelessness is fucking horrible. Okay? Absolutely unacceptable. Why? Because he cares more about the interests of the housing market and he cares more about developers than he does about, like, actually providing permanent shelter for the homeless. You know who's not going to fucking do anything about that and only make it worse? Fucking Larry Elder. Okay? So the alternative is never like, yeah, this person is bad, so we should just elect a Republican instead to make it even worse. Like, that's so stupid. But overall, the reasons why people are fucking criticizing Gavin Newsom, some are correct, okay? Some are correct, like his lack of interest in dealing with homelessness in California. That's a big one, okay? that the opposition is not providing a viable alternative to at all. But as far as like, most people are shitting on him because, you know, if you're leading the recovery efforts during a fucking pandemic, every one of your dissenters are going to attribute all of the wrong things that have happened within the pandemic to you. They're going to say, I couldn't go out and get a fucking $5 jalapeno popper from Applebee's, brother. And I can't do that because Gavin Newsom stopped me from doing that. Okay, that's like, here, I just explained fucking Bakersfield to you and why they hate Gavin Newsom. Okay, small businesses, like, California has done some decent shit with respect to the rest of the fucking states. Our unemployment insurance is continuing, while many other states have stopped it. The eviction moratorium is continuing here in the state of California, while many other states have stopped it. There is direct funds coming back to the citizens of California as a consequence of the $50 billion surplus that California showed this year. So, you know, there is the good and then there's the bad. The bad is there are significant problems that are not impossible to tackle, but there are significant problems that Gavin Newsom doesn't do a good enough job in dealing with, homelessness being the main one. Okay? But of course, the alternative isn't that, like, Larry Elder is going to solve the issues. He's not. He's going to make shit way, way worse.
Education while he was sitting up there at the French Laundry, ignoring the masks and the social distancing mandates that the very people who drafted the mandates were sitting there with him. He can't defend his record on the fact that people are leaving California for the first time in our state.
People are leaving California for the first time. Yeah, dude. Except it's not fucking rich people leaving California. It's people that are middle class and poor that are leaving California. And the reason why they're leaving California is because it is unaffordable to live in California. A problem that is contributing to the homelessness crisis. And also, on top of that, a problem that is not going to be solved by a fucking charlatan like Larry Elder.
States 170-year history. They can't defend his record on fire management. They can't defend his record on the fact that we're having rolling brownouts. They can't defend his record on the fact that we are running out of water because we haven't added to our water infrastructure system in about 40 years. They can't defend his record on anything. So none of these surrogates coming from outside California have uttered the following words: Gavin Newsom has done a good job for the people of California.
Yeah, it would be really hard for anyone.
So bad news about Gavin Newsom is that he's Gavin Newsom. Good news, he isn't Larry Elder. Yes.
To say that. I mean, I lived in California. The degradation of that state under his leadership is really quite apparent. You know, Larry, I'm really curious about, I know you've been working hard, and it looks like, you know, the fact that they're bringing in these big names, they are threatened by you and your candidacy. I'm worried about fraud. You know, when they found that meth addict with 300 ballots in his
already, dude, already. I'm worried about fraud. Yeah. Hammer up the speech that, like, there's fraud. In a state like California, there needs to be fraud for a Republican to lose. Like, are you fucking psychotic? If Larry Elder won this recall, there would be a higher likelihood that there's fucking fraud than the other way around. Okay? Let's be real. California has a shitload of Republicans. More than, like, 3 fucking red states combined, right? We got, like, 4 million Republicans here that voted. Okay, that voted in the last election, 4 million plus. But also, we got like 8 million Democrats. So, the fuck? This notion that, like, that voted, by the way. So, this notion that, like, there's fraudulent. There's so many, 6 million Republicans that voted for Donald Trump. And how many, 11 million Democrats that voted for the Democrats in California? Yeah, like, good luck.
The trunk of his car. Are you hearing any other stories like that? And how worried?
What a shit fucking system where those 4 million Republicans don't have representation. Yeah, totally, dude. They totally don't have representation. Like, what? What do those 4 million or 6 million Republicans want that, like, Gavin Newsom hasn't given them? If anything, Gavin Newsom gives them better representation than us, you fucking dumb idiot. What do you want? You want him to say, like, you know, fucking trans people are immoral or something? Is that because that's the only representation that, like, the 6 million Republicans are looking for that they're not getting? Because everything else, like, what? They want more fracking? You got fracking. You want the housing market to consistently keep growing, like the housing prices to keep going up so that your, main investment vehicle is protected. There you go. Gavin Newsom has done that for you. You want cops to keep getting funds and beef up their security so that, black people in your neighborhood are brutalized if they ever accidentally come into your neighborhood. That's Los Angeles. That's California in general. So what? You want him to, the last thing that like Republicans want that Gavin Newsom's not giving them is that he's allowing homeless people to exist. Okay? He's allowing homeless people to survive on the streets, which is a fucking disgusting measure if you ask me. I think that is not an appropriate measure. I think it's a horrifying reality that we've subjected so many fucking people to. Psychotic. Oh yeah, just let them eat trash and live in fucking tents. And like we all just like literally look the other way and act like they don't exist when they're fucking screaming in pain in the middle of the fucking street. So that's it. That's like the only difference is that like a Republican will come in and like literally sweep the streets and toss out their tents and shit like that. And that's pretty much it. There's nothing else going on other than that a Republican would do that Gavin Newsom hasn't done for the Republicans. My dad says a lot of homeless people want to be homeless. How many do you think that really is? What? No, that's not real at all, dude. What the fuck? Who? Motherfucker, no one wants to be homeless, dude. That's so dumb. Everyone wants to have shelter, okay? There's like 8 trust fund hippie kids that are anarchists that like want to be homeless, but only like on the condition that they can go back to Martha's Vineyard with their family every now and then. But outside of that, like the overwhelming majority of homeless people do not want to be fucking homeless, dude. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard, dude.
Are you that might be part of this election?
I am worried about fraud, and we have a election integrity project all set up on my website, electelder.com. But I'll tell you something else they're worried about. They're worried about the fact that yesterday, Rose McGowan, the actress accused Harvey Weinstein of rape, says that she received a phone call from Gavin Newsom's wife on behalf of Harvey Weinstein.
Trust fund anarchist, are you okay, bud? You sound dumb today. You know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm talking about the hipster hippies that like are trust fund babies themselves. Okay, they get a fucking PhD from Stanford and then they go slum it out for a couple years to like really understand the bohemian aesthetic more before getting a fucking Raytheon job. Okay, it is a very, very tiny fucking fraction, and it's not necessarily the trustafarians. Okay, I'm talking about people like Grimes. Exactly. It's, people living in Portland. I think you misunderstood. Some want to be on the streets rather than shelters. Yes. If that's the question, then that is true. A lot of homeless people would rather have their own space in a fucking tent and have their own stuff and have their own, dogs and whatnot and be able to continue doing drugs on the streets rather than a fucking shelter, because a shelter does not actually provide shelter. It's conditional shelter that certainly fucks over their liberties, that doesn't let them fucking bring their stuff, that doesn't let them have their dogs and shit, like that doesn't let them have their animals with them. So yes, shelters are not a good solution. It's not an adequate solution. The actual adequate solution is a housing first policy that immediately seeks to put people in permanent shelter, and only then can you start the process of like rehabilitation and whatnot. Of course, when I mention the stuff that they have or, their puppies and whatnot, most people laugh that off because they don't give a fuck, because they don't think, they've been conditioned into thinking that homeless people are not human beings their entire lives. So it's very difficult. They're like, oh, well, fuck their trash. Who cares about their fucking trash? Just live in a fucking shelter, bro. Like, no. You can fix California's homeless crisis by housing them in your spare bedrooms. Totally, dude. Yeah. Why don't you buy some small homes for those people? Yeah, yes. Individual acts of charity will certainly fix this problem, except it hasn't and it won't, and you're delusional. For some reason, it's just like there's not enough magnanimous wealthy folks. Otherwise, you know, this would be totally solved, dude. Yeah. Let's take a look at something here. There's some good. So maybe I can solve the homelessness problem, right? With one fucking a $2.7 million house, right? Oh wait, Gavin Newsom spent $12 billion. Man, that's crazy, dude. Wait, so even the government of California spending $12 billion hasn't been able to, you know, deal with the crisis. That's odd. How odd. How odd that a $12 billion proposal is not even enough to fucking deal with the homelessness problem. But, like, you know, one guy buying houses will, probably. Certainly. $3 million into a hotel would be nice to facilitate. Yeah, it would be nice. Except you're a fucking idiot. And you don't understand that I don't have $3 million, you fucking dumb moron. Okay? People literally, once again, expose themselves every time the House Andy conversation comes up. Which is like, you think that, like, what? You think a bank's gonna give me a fucking mortgage on nothing? Just so I put a fucking down payment so I can, like, what? Buy a hotel for homeless people? Like, are you stupid? Fuck. I mean, you are stupid. Yes, you're a stupid person because you think that, like, I just bought a fucking house that's worth $3 million in straight cash. It's also psychotic that, like, people literally fucking reduce gigantic systemic problems back to, like, individual responsibility all the fucking time. Holy shit, Americans. Wake the fuck up.
Weinstein's lawyer 6 months before the story blew up. And Gavin Newsom's wife asked Rose, quote, "What can we do to make you happy? What can we do to make this story go away?" Close quote. It is a bombshell. And so far, Washington Post, nothing. CNN, nothing. Can you imagine if that accusation had been made against me? Because during the campaign, I was accused of sexism. I would be talking about this from now until the day I die. But among the mainstream people, nobody seems to give a rip. That is a bombshell accusation that Gavin Newsom's wife called Rose McGowan 6 months before the Harvey Weinstein story blew up on behalf of Harvey Weinstein's lawyer and said, "What can we do to make this story go away?" And the mainstream media doesn't seem to care. Pourquoi?
Yeah, no, well, yeah, it's shocking, too, that a woman in a gorilla mask would try to throw an egg at you. Thankfully, she has such a bad arm and so unathletic, she missed it. And all and they don't talk about it. They don't put it in the L.A. Times. I mean,
it's not true. Plenty of people talked about it. I thought it was hilarious.
Unbelievable that that's on a story. Then you can have your opinion person say whatever they want to say, but that's news.
Rose McGowan went side by side with a dude who literally said, "This woman is too ugly for me to rape." Okay? Like, Larry Elder's defense for one of the sexual assault accusers was, he's too ugly. Too fucking ugly for me to sexually assault. Thank you, Rose McGowan, for you know, being a brave voice in advocating for Larry Elder.
News, and it's ridiculous news, but it's news. Real quick.
Brian, it is news, and the LA Times referred to me as the black face of white supremacy. And you're right about this woman.
Oh, he has referred to himself as that. Like, bro, this guy literally wrote a book called Stupid Black Men. Okay? Like, what do you, this is, what do you mean? Stupid Black Men, how to play the race card and lose. He's against the civil rights movement. Like, what do you mean, dude? He literally said he would have voted against the Civil Rights Act. Okay, so yeah, he is literally judging a book by the cover, shaking my fucking head. I mean, I know Larry Elder better than you do, dumbass. You just found out about him yesterday. I fucking debated him like years ago. He is, unironically, much like many other black conservatives are, a blackface that defends white supremacy. That's it. That's the truth. I don't know why you're fucking crying about it. It's like literally the fucking truth. Here, let's hear what he had to say about fucking Trayvon Martin's murder.
Question. Do you think that Rachel Jeantel is stupid?
I think that I would rather have a George Zimmerman living in my neighborhood, and maybe if George Zimmerman were living in my neighborhood, we'd have fewer Oreo Castros. I thought we wanted people to be proactive. I
That
thought
wasn't
we wanted
the
people
question,
to see
Larry.
Larry Elder has never answered a question straight on. Like, he is like the number one. First of all, dude, you want more George Zimmermans in your neighborhood? Like, what? They're gonna murder your son too, dumbass. Do you forget that you're fucking black? Like, I don't understand. Like, what a psychotic take. The guy who like literally fucking signs Confederate flags and shit. Like, you think that's your ally, you fucking dumb idiot? He's gonna kill your son. You know? Is that what you want? He's gonna kill you. Is that what you want, dude? Nice.
I'm answering something different that ought to be answered.
Could you just answer my
George
question?
Zimmerman like he's some sort of criminal. He's not a criminal. He's
George
a guy
Zimmerman
who cares about his neighborhood.
shot dead an
He's a guy who
unarmed
cares about his
teenager.
neighborhood. He's a neighborhood watch guy. Don't you want people who are proactive? And there was crime in that neighborhood, Pierce. I live in South Central.
There wasn't crime from Trayvon Martin in that neighborhood.
The burglar bars are not on there because of George Zimmerman. They're on there because of the minority of thug in the community that's messing up everybody's image and reputation. This is why people profile.
American conservatives are so fucking pathetic and disgusting that they routinely make Piers Morgan look good. Can you imagine making Piers Morgan look good, dude? That is the biggest crime. I mean, that should literally be a crime. That should be a criminally charged act.
Instead of being angry at George Zimmerman, be angry.
Boy, bruvs, if you haven't left because I've been routinely, and consistently making fun of you, think about that for a second. Like, this is what we have to deal with. Like, our guys, he's probably the biggest trash can to come out of the UK, and there's plenty of them, dude. Holy shit. Think about it. Our guys are so bad, they make Piers Morgan look good. That's nuts. That's fucking nuts, dude.
Angry at the minority
Right.
of the thug who's committing these kinds of crimes.
Okay, if I could jump in again. So just to clarify, though, Trayvon Martin wasn't committing crime.
It was an unfortunate incident. Two people had preconceived notions about each other. It never should have been happened. Doesn't make George Zimmerman.
Yeah, Trayvon Martin had a preconceived notion that, like, someone was armed and trying to murder him as he was on his way back home with fucking Skittles in his pocket, dude. What preconceived notion did he have, dude? It's just because he's fucking black that you advocate for his death as a teenager. It's such bullshit, dude. One of the most disgusting, scummy things you can fucking do in general. Makes it additionally scummy that you're doing it while also being black, so you use your fucking skin color and the intergenerational trauma that that you've been subjected to as a justifying factor in your defense of a white supremacist action. So nasty, dude. So fucking nasty. There's a special place in hell. If hell exists, there's a special place in hell for motherfuckers like this. Okay?
I'm a criminal. I used to work in the DA's office, Pierce. I'm telling you, it was a dog case, a reasonable doubt case. Nobody I know would have filed the case.
Yeah, well, we disagree, obviously, about that.
Yeah. I know a lot of racist people, and they would not have filed this case, Pierce.
I think it's completely wrong.
Obviously.
That George Zimmerman should get no punishment at all for killing an unarmed teenager.
He's got serious punishment. He can't go anywhere. Are you kidding? He's a marked man.
Well,
he's going to be sued civilly. He will never have a moment of peace. He killed somebody. Morally, he's got to deal with that, Pierce. He recognizes.
Oh, man, the morality, dude. Hey, guys, remember when George Zimmerman was morally so fucking wrought with the murder of a young black male, dude? Let me just look at something here for a second. Let me see how morally wrought he was with the guilt. Muslim-free gun shop teams with George Zimmerman to sell Confederate flag pins. Seems real. Man, he seems real fucking sad about that, dude. Going for $65 million. George Zimmerman's gun is up for auction again. Man, I hate being morally distraught while selling Confederate flag, rebel flag art to raise legal fees, dude. He was so morally distraught that he was, I mean, this fucking scumbag, dude. Like, the shit that he did after. Yeah. Does this look like a guy who was morally distraught when he signed a bag of Skittles, dude? Does that look like... Because that was the only thing that Trayvon Martin was armed with. What is this? His net worth? Wait, how is his net worth $10 million? No shot. I don't believe that. I don't want to believe that. Is it the gun? His first painting sold for $100,000 on eBay in late December. Those sites are always wrong.
Woman that threw an egg at me. She's wearing a gorilla mask. I would be tempted to call it not even a mask, but I'd be called sexist if I said that. But maybe she's one of the 20,000 convicted felons that were released early under Gavin Newsom. Maybe she's one of the people that should be behind bars, but for the DA out here in L.A.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, this is a guy I want to vote for. A guy who's like advocating to criminalize and also jail more people in the state of California, which has like the most overcrowded fucking prison system, dude. Holy shit. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Are you kidding me, dude? That's why we're fucking voting no on the recall, okay? Do you understand? The more he speaks, the more you probably recognize why this recall is fucking completely morally bankrupt and idiotic. Do you get it? That was a blatantly racist attack. Were it committed by a Republican, it'd be headlines for weeks. Wait, what leads you to believe that that was a blatantly racist that looks fake as fuck? You don't consider this internet crap fake? Please maintain my perfect facade. Criticize away. They're gonna stuff the postal ballots anyway. Lol. What's wrong with waiting and seeing? Yo, whenever there's partnered streamers that come in here and say hog ass shit, I now legitimately worry. Or you're going down a dark path, Blaine's partner streamer Blaine's. I'm letting you know. Except for Bow Bow, who is of course my designated troll and the best partner streamer. Nah, bruh, double standards ain't attractive. What double standards, dude? Suck a dick leftist is psychedelic Aaron. What's wrong with waiting and seeing what happens? Why force him to commit to recognizing something that hasn't happened yet? That was blatantly a racist attack that if were committed by a Republican will be headlines for weeks. First of all, if a fucking Republican, if a conservative was attacking like a black Democrat or a black politician, which happens regularly, yes, I would be more inclined to assume that there's probably a little bit underlying racism there. Okay? Not a fucking homelessness activist in Venice. You understand that? Attacking fucking Larry Elder. It's okay. Twitch is paying the bottom dollar. Yeah. But given the fact that you already think that, like, you know, the postal ballots are going to be stuffed, you need to mobilize your fan base to pressure Twitter to remove the relevant Israel accounts. What? I was a member of the UK Labour Party with direct experience of being featured in the Israeli media for criticizing them. If you ever want to talk, lol. Training us to worship the elite. What the fuck? Bro, is this one of those Labour guys that got fucking kicked out? But like, I think we might have found the one Labour guy that was kicked out for good reason. Okay. Like every other Labour guy that was kicked out of the party, bullshit reasons. This might be the one Labour guy that was kicked out for good reason, okay? The media just makes sure the entire reputation of the U.S. and their elite is as good as a Hollywood script can make it. All league coverage is going to be a low-budget movie. Now is your chance to talk about how Obama organized the Biden coup in Ukraine and brought power to a literal neo-Nazi regime. So this stuff is not wrong, but over the course of like this past year, I feel like this dude has like gone down. You go upstairs, let's play the floor is lava adult style. They also build nuclear power plants on fault lines. If it happens once in 500 years, how is it more common? Like, how the fuck did this dude go from... Those are from the last 2 months? Yeah, I don't know what the fuck happened. These are from the last 2 months? Man, you're reading comments from streams ages ago? And then those are from the last 2 months. It's racist symbolism. She wears a gorilla mask to attack a black politician. That's all it makes. It's all it takes a blow to CNN headline out of the water. How did this guy go from like fucking being like a Labor Andy to like, I guess Jimmy Dore maybe? Like, what happened? You're injecting automatic prejudice into today's comments. I'm not that simple, and neither is any viewer here. Yeah, I mean, if your exclusive focus is like Larry Elder, who's a gigantic fucking piece of shit, I'll put it into like brov terms for you. Okay? Larry Elder is like worse than fucking Boris Johnson. Okay? Believes in $0 minimum wage. Like, he is not the kind of fucking person that you would ever want. He's like the Nigel Farage, okay? Of California politics. He's not even Nigel Farage. He's the Sargon of Akkad of California politics. And here you are saying that an attack against the Sargon of Akkad, who also regularly got fucking shit tossed at him too. Remember when Sargon of Akkad would get like fucking milkshaked and shit? Yeah, that exact same thing happens in California, and you're like hyper focusing on the aesthetics because you're a goddamn delusional fucking liberal. Oh, it's a black person, bruv. It's a black person being attacked by a woman in a gorilla mask. All right, it's a racist attack. It's clearly a fucking racist attack. Yeah, dude. Like, if you're hyper focused on CNN prejudices in this situation and not like Larry Elder's policies, then maybe you are just as liberal as the rest of them. I don't know. I care about Larry Elder, but man, if he was a Democrat candidate, treatment would be 100% different. Yeah, no shit. Because Democrats are not advocating to like fucking hurt black people. At least they offer lip service, even though they do end up hurting black people in the process. At least they're not like running on hurting black people. You know what I mean? So yes, when someone is aesthetically focused on like helping black people at least, or running on helping black people, and then some fucking Republican who's like, nah, fuck that, I hate that, turns around and like attacks them, yes, that would be a different situation considering the context, which is something that you were looking for, right? So I'm giving you the context. And it does seem like you do care about Larry Elder. Larry Elder isn't going to win, not close. Why so shaken? I'm shaken by the fact that you can be such a dumb fuck. and you know, throw out your fucking credibility in this chat in defense of Larry fucking Elder, dude. That's what I'm shaken by. I don't give a fuck about Larry Elder personally. He's gonna lose regardless. I'm shaken by how fucking idiotic you can be. Do you understand? Like, functionally, you would go out to bat to defend this fucking dipshit. And also, additionally shaken that you are literally, without a single fucking fraction of evidence, saying that there will be ballot stuffing. Like, mail ballots are going to somehow lead to some kind of, like, electoral malfeasance. That's what I'm shaken by. That, like, I have bruv audience members in here that have even been worked with, like, that have worked alongside the fucking Labour Party in the UK that can be so fucking idiotic to, like, repeat Fox News talking points, okay?
Supported by Gavin Newsom, who has not been charging criminals to the fullest extent of the law. Maybe she'd be in jail. But you know, again, if this were a D at the end of my name, they'd be talking about the fact that a white woman in a gorilla mask threw an egg at a Democrat candidate for governor. They'd be talking about this in Bangladesh.
Yeah, you know, they definitely have a special ire.
Yeah. The guy, it must have been a racially motivated attack, you know, throwing an egg against the fucking guy who literally advocated, by the way, same talking points of the UK bro, by the way, just remember that. Remember where you stand, you know, politically. If you and Larry Elder are, you know, saying the exact same shit as the Fox News host, weird. But also, on top of that, like, the person that they're fucking, the person this person is throwing a fucking egg at literally advocated to give reparations to white slave owners instead of black people, okay?